Hello everyone, L to the W here, veteran vlogger and avid car enthusiast. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button and go ahead and give me a thumbs up while you're at it. It's absolutely free of charge, no cost whatsoever. If you do want to support the channel, there are some links down below for various merchandise and other stuff. So anyhow, today is going to be a total car day. A video I've been wanting to make for a while. It's just been kind of set off to the side, but anyhow, I have a 2015 Chevy SS. I've had it almost 3 years now, about 2.5 years, and I've always wanted to do what I like and dislike about the car. It seems to be a pretty popular car, a lot of people like it, and so I want to discuss my things that I like and dislike after a couple of years of owning it. So as soon as I get done with my morning cup of coffee, we're going to go outside, talk about it, and take her for a drive. Right here she is, my beautiful 2015 Chevy SS. I'm going to start with the outside first, and I'm going to go over my dislikes and then the likes. So not really much on the way of dislikes. I guess say my biggest dislike is really kind of the name. I hate when somebody asks you what it is and you tell them an SS and they're like, oh, a Malibu SS, an Impala SS. It's just, I know Chevy, I think, did good not naming it Chevelle or something like that, because my 2005 GTO got a lot of flack about its name, and it didn't look retro in that. So I think they did good in that retrospect, but the name gets a little bit hard to say sometimes. The only thing I don't like, it doesn't really apply to this car, is that this piece here on any other color car is black as well. I think it's just too much. I think it looks better when it's the body color myself, but other than that, I really don't have anything else I dislike on the outside. Well, except for I think there is just a tad bit too much chrome. Like, to me, the chrome vent's fine. This little bit of chrome here is all right, but this all the way around the top, and I really don't like this chrome on the door handles there. What I do like is, if you look at these fenders, they're really flared out. They look really aggressive and mean. The hood has a slight little like cowl bulge. Nothing too aggressive and powerful. You know, it is a family sedan. It's a muscle car. It's not like the Camaro here that's a performance car. It looks absolutely mean, and it just shows that it's fast. This is a little more docile. I don't think it really looks like a Malibu like a lot of people claim or say. I think that's their reason for not buying it. But you know, I love all the safety features the car has. You have the daytime running lights, the LED lights, you have HID lights, you have rain sense wipers, you have forward collision, lane change. When you back up, it's got sensors. If you're going to back into something, it'll beep. Same thing with going forward. It has cross traffic alert. So much safety stuff. This thing can even about park itself. I mean, it uses the sensors around, and it can parallel park into something. Absolutely fantastic. So I like the subtleness of it. I mean, it gives you enough to look aggressive and mean. You got these big, huge Brembos sandwiched into the 19-inch wheels. Looks slick, and just tops off with a nice little spoiler here. What I really like here is like the blacked out kind of look on the tail lights. So under the hood, what's not to love about a LS3 V8, 415 horse, 415 foot-pounds of torque? The only thing I don't like is really this kind of huge, monstrous engine cover. I don't know. I mean, do you need that? I mean, you could just take this thing off, and it looks a whole lot better the way I see it. Or they could have designed that just to look a little bit nicer. The only problem about the LS3 is I do wish it kind of had, like my Camaro has, there's like an active fuel management, because this thing does drink a bunch of gas. Now, I know you don't buy this car for gas mileage, not something you do, but the technology was there. I think, you know, if they would have done something like that, it would have made the car a whole lot or a little bit nicer in that respect on some of the gas safe. So now let's go to the inside. Same thing here. I'm going to go through my dislikes first. I'm going to do a couple sitting here, and then we're going to go for a drive and get a feel for the car. All right. So this one kind of drives me a little batty. It's when you start it up, you get these 3 seatbelt symbols here, and they don't go away for a while. It's just kind of aggravating. You get that. I'm not sure how good that's going to show up. And it just stays like that. I even tried plugging the seat belts in, and then the 3 people there showed up as green. It's to let you know, like, hey, remind you to buckle up the people in the back. I don't really need that. Here's one thing that really irks me about this car. Do you hear this? For some reason, I like to stream music off my phone. In all my other cars, I have the Camaro, I have a Cruise. I guess there's only 2 that I have that have the MyLink. My wife's got the Buick that's got the My. And what's nice is you get in the car, as soon as your phone hooks up with the Bluetooth, it starts streaming music. I use the Slacker radio app, and I like to listen to music from that. This car, if you put it on auxiliary for listening to your phone, as soon as you turn off and restart it, it goes back to friggin' radio, and I don't understand why that happens. Alright, let's go for a drive. Alright, driving this beautiful car, and mind you, I'm kind of really struggle a lot to find some dislikes with the car. I mean, granted, it changing that it won't stay on auxiliary does kind of bother me quite a bit. The other one, the seatbelt thing, is a little bit more just a minor inconvenience, just a slight annoyance. But one thing that does kind of bother me also as well is it's great that this car has a heads-up display, and really this is a problem across all the GM cars, because my Camaro does the same thing, so this really isn't an SS problem. But the heads-up display is not tied into your instrument panels, meaning so during the daytime you're going to turn it up full bright so you can see it. Then at night when it's dark, you have this really bright image on the windshield. Now if it was hooked into your instrument panel, when your headlights come on and the instrument panel dims, the heads-up display would dim as well. That to me would make a lot more sense, instead of having to, every time you switch between day and night, having to change the setting on that. Kind of a little annoying. Like I said, it's not an SS problem, this kind of goes across the GM board. Other than that, I really can't think of anything else that I really kind of dislike about the car. So what I like is the one thing, kind of a slight dislike. I just wanted to add it because it just caught my attention right now as I'm driving, and this is really kind of a problem. A lot of cars, my Chevy Cruise is really bad about this, and the Camaro has some. There's a lot of this silver brushed aluminum stuff all over the instrument panel, especially right now here with the vents, the way the sun's hitting it. It's kind of in my eyes. It looks good sitting here, but when you drive, it gets a little bit annoying. Like my Camaro, I get a bad shine off like the shifter and something else. But I have some of this same color trim over my instrument panel. So they do that on a lot of cars. But anyhow, the likes. Oh man, the likes are so many. I'm really just overall with this car. Here's like one of my favorite. What's not to like about that? I do like my dad's car. He's got the 17 SS, so 16s and 17s had the dual tips in the back. I kind of like the way that looks a little bit better, but I kind of like the single mode exhaust for this car, because I would always want a throatier, but his car is kind of a bit loud, and it gets tied in with your suspension. The Camaro, you can independently change your exhaust independent of your suspension settings. You can tell it to always be one way or the other. So if you're on the interstate and you're gonna be cruising, you can actually put your exhaust to like tour mode, and then put the suspension into or soft, or if you want it loud. So like, you know, like say you want it nice and soft, like suspension soft, you put it in tour mode. On that car you can make it still stay loud, like it's in tour, like in performance. So sorry, I got that all backwards. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah. So if you put it into sport mode or tour mode, it would close off the valves and make it go through the muffler and be quiet. But sometimes you just want to ride nice and still have that growl. The Camaro, you can tell the mufflers stay open via the dashboard settings. This you really can't. So I kind of like the way that looks, but I'm kind of glad this is the way it is. It's throaty, but not too much where I don't get that drone on the interstate, kind of like what he gets. It's a bit loud, but I do like the way it looks. Man, the inside, this is so beautiful, the way they do the SS stitched into the seat. It's also on the dashboard. I love the red stitching, the leather and the Alcantara. The seats are heated and ventilated. Like right now, I'm reading 94 degrees outside, and a black car, black interior. I'm actually feeling pretty good because I got air blowing through the seats. It's great. And as a taller person, it's one of the biggest benefits of this car. I have a hard time finding cars that I'm comfortable in. This car, if I put the seat all the way back, I literally almost cannot reach the pedals. I mean, seriously, like somebody 6'6" or whatever could probably drive this car comfortably. And I'm pretty comfortable, and there's still a pretty good amount of room back here for somebody to sit back here. So this car, it's fast. You get your need for speed. It's very practical. You got a very large trunk. I guess this would go into this. Like, I do wish the entirety of the seat folded down, or if it was like a 60-40 split. This car only gives you a little pass-through. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of little pass-throughs. I'd rather the whole seat just come down in case you really had to haul something larger. Sorry, I know I'm jumping this. I'm trying to go off of memory. But the lights, yeah, that's yeah. So let me just go back to one. I was thinking of the Camaro and I thought about this. There's a little color display here in the middle that I showed you in the beginning. Scrolling through the menus is a little weird. You have to use it off your turn signal and rotate this thing back and forth. And then there's a button to go between two menus. Kind of a little weird, not very intuitive. The Camaro has got so many friggin' options. It's like mind-blowing, the stuff that you can go through that screen. But I did kind of wish that was a little bit more to it. Like you didn't have to hit the button to go to oil pressure and tire pressure, and then hit the button to go back to tripometer and speed and all this other stuff. It's a little bit weird, but anyhow, likes back to that. You know, this car has two ways of shifting. You have the paddle shifters up here at the steering wheel. You can also put the shifter over here to a sport mode and manually shift that way. It also puts it into a performance mode, which is another great thing this car has, is the performance mode. So you put it into performance mode, you hit the traction control twice, and then it goes into competitive mode, which really gives you, lets you have some fun driving it. And that's another great thing with this car is the mag ride. I can't say you're gonna feel like a terrific difference when you change it between sport and tour. It is slightly softer. Where you feel a big difference is at higher speeds. Like if I were to go 90 down this road that's a little bit bumpy in tour mode, the car would be harder. It would be kind of a little bit all over the place. But as soon as I snap it into performance mode, those dampeners start reacting a lot faster to what's going on, and then the car is just rock steady. It's amazing. The difference, like I said, you don't feel too much at slower speeds. Big bumps, maybe, it doesn't like just all of a sudden make a Cadillac soft. But it does work. It's a great thing to have. And with the knob right here, it's very easy to, like if you're pulling off the interstate and you want to hit it with some speed, give it a quick flip over to a performance mode, or just say you're on a back road like this and you see some fun turns you want to hit, you can go ahead and quick change. So overall, the build quality, the quietness, how tight this car is, how it feels, handles. I love the flat bottom steering wheel. I like the position of everything. I mean, I love the way that the Alcantara's on the door panels as well. And the way the design carries on to the back seats as well with the little kind of V stuff. Like I said, really have to struggle to find things to complain about this car. I mean, overall, it's just an absolute fantastic car. It's just a shame that the company Holden kind of went away, that they don't make these in Australia anymore. They did a very fine job putting these cars together. And I'm absolutely thrilled to have the privilege of owning this car. I also had the privilege of owning the Camaro too, so I kind of got a little bit more insight. I think I feel for both cars, so I kind of get you know, if I didn't have the Camaro, some things maybe I might not think so much about. But yeah, I mean, all in all, beyond happy with the car. I do kind of wish they would have went with like a 20-inch wheel, just because the tires would be a little bit cheaper on the 20s. And then on that too, this car does have a bad problem when it's cold out with the factory Bridgestones. I've experienced a bad wheel hop on a heavy acceleration, so I don't know if that's like a suspension issue or if that's like the tire issue. I don't know, I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about it. So, but I mean, it doesn't get cold enough here for me to warrant changing the tires. You know, I'm in Florida, it doesn't snow, I don't have to worry about it, but I've had some pretty cold days that on hard takeoffs I've had that hop, so, and I really don't have much experience driving this car in the rain either, so I can't tell you how good these tires are in the rain. I mean, I've had a couple little accidental rain things, but it wasn't far from the house, so I couldn't tell you like at 70 miles an hour on the interstate how it is, but just a great car. I'm totally happy with it. If you ever have the opportunity to buy one, I would highly recommend it. I don't think you'd be disappointed. If you're like me, a guy that like wants the Camaro but needs the utility and the practicality of a larger sedan, this car will fit the bill. You know, I mean, yeah, we got the Dodge Chargers, and then you can even go with the Scat Packs and the Hellcats and Demons. If you really want to get up there in power, you can go that route. I mean, this is not going to catch a Demon or a Hellcat, but another good thing, great horn. Guy just passed on a solid line, so I'm going to get this Buick back here a little. Down nicely. So again, I recommend buying this car. It's a great car. The Bose sound system, you know, not the best things in the world. I'm not a big fan of Bose, but it does sound pretty good. They do have a lot of speakers in the car. It's very comfortable, tall person recommended, and I'm just really happy with the car. So that being said, I am L to the W, disabled veteran, vlogger, a car enthusiast that owns way too many cars. So if you're into that stuff, please go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and hopefully you learned a little something about the Chevy SS, because that's a great car. Hopefully you'll be back tomorrow, because I do daily vlogs for more videos. Thanks for watching.